Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to give you a wrap-up of my first quarter of the year reading, and yeah, I'm very excited to talk to you about the way that my reading went in January, February and March. It is now the middle of April, so yeah, it's a bit late maybe, but I hope you still enjoy it. I had two TBRs that I set myself at the beginning of the year. The first one is a TBR consisting of 5 series and 5 new to me authors that I wanted to read this year. And the other TBR is my physical TBR, so all the books that I have owned at the start of the year. So I have since then accumulated a couple of more books. I got some for my birthday, I also bought some, and I got 2 books for Easter from my mom, so that was quite exciting. But those do not count towards the physical TBR, just because I have received them during the last 3 months. So I want to tell you how things went with my winter TBR. I also made a video for that, so if you want to watch that still, I will link it at the end. I've also uploaded a spring TBR, so you know that what I am planning to read for spring. But let's talk about the first 3 months. Now I have separated my TBR into a TBR I should read from these 2 TBRs I just talked about, physical and the kind of goals that I set, and then my library TBR, because I have a big issue of getting way too many books from the library and then just not reading my own books. So I'm trying to be more mindful of that this year. But as you will see, it was definitely a problem from last year that kind of spilled over into this year as well. So for January, I had 5 books on my should read TBR. One of those was a new author book I wanted to try, and the other 4 were physical TBR books that I wanted to get to. Out of that list, I managed to read 0 books in January. So well done me. But I finished 1 book at the beginning of February, so I still kind of counted it. And yeah, that was that. Now you might wonder, what did I read in January? And it was library books. So at the beginning of January, I had 8 library books on my TBR. And out of those 8, I finished 5 within January. And then I finished 1 more at the beginning of February. So I did reduce that quite a bit, and as I said, then I took some measures to make sure that I won't have such a huge library stack anymore this year. Okay, then going into February, I had on my TBR from the 2 lists 6 books. 3 of those were from my books I had goals for list, and 3 were physical TBR books. And out of those 6, I finished 1 in February and 1 at the beginning of March. So also not going super well, but my February was a little bit of a rough month, to be honest. So I had 4 books in February on my library TBR, and of those 4 books, I managed to read 1. So yeah, as I said, February was a bit of a month. I wouldn't really have read anything if I wouldn't have listened to audiobooks, so those saved my month a little bit, but they were all like new books, because I'm one of those people who doesn't like to get an audiobook for a physical book I already have. So yeah, I read a lot of new books in February, which wasn't really the goal, but it was the only way to go, to be honest. And lastly, for March, I had 7 books on my should read TBR. Out of those 7, 2 books were for the goals TBR, and 5 were from my physical TBR. And out of those 7, I read 3. So again, not that great. I guess. But yeah, I've had a rough start to the year. Let's finish it off on my library TBR for March. I had 3 books and I finished one of those in March and one at the beginning of April. So at least I could get rid of some of those library books that were sitting on my little trolley for a very long time. So overall, you can see that I didn't have the best success rate with reading the books that were on my TBR, but I was actually kind of surprised how bad it went, to be honest. I don't know. But from the books I've read some amazing books. I have already so many 5-star reads this year. Like, let me just check quickly. I've already read 6 books I gave 5 stars to, and that's pretty awesome. So I'm very happy with that. So my reading is good quality-wise, but a little bit lacking in the quantity, especially from like my set TBRs. So I thought it would be fun to go through the books quickly and just let you know which ones I've read and which ones I haven't read. So if you're interested in any of the ones I've read, I have vlogged all of my reading this year, so you can find the reading vlogs where I read them. So let's start out with the big one. This was like my main goal for the first quarter of the year, and that was the Broken Earth trilogy. We have the 5th season, The Obelisk Gate, The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin, and I have read this. Then we have Pachinko by Min-Jin Lee, and I've read it. Wild Woman and the Blues by Danny S. Bryce. I did not read this during the first quarter, but now I have read it. The Turn of the Screw and Other Ghost Stories by Henry James. I have started it, but didn't get far. Die Unglückseligen by Thea Dorn. I have not read it. Alias Grace by Margaret Atwood. I have sadly not read it. Das Buch vom Tee by Kakuzo Okakura, and I have not read this. Die Nacht der Könige by Stefan Beuse. I have not read it. Blackout, a short story collection by Danielle Clayton, Nick Stone, Tiffany D. Jackson, Ashley Woodfolk, Angie Thomas and Nicola Yoon. Sadly, I have not read it. This is one of my most anticipated books of, I think, last year. The God of Lost Words by A.J. Heckworth, and I have not read it. Fragen, die mir zum Holocaust gestellt werden by Hedi Fried. I have sadly not read it. And Only Ever Yours by Louise O'Neill, which sadly I have not read. So yeah, that's the overview. Now, going from the books that I have read, those were definitely the highest priority. I read the Broken Earth trilogy as one of those series that I wanted to read this year. So this is the first of 5 series that I want to complete this year. So that was like my highest priority. And then I have these 2 books that have also been like very high priority. Pachinko, because I buddy read this with a friend and I had also just gotten it for Christmas. So I really wanted to get to it. Unfortunately, I don't have Apple TV Plus, so I can't watch the TV show, but if you're looking for a book that has been turned into a quite promising TV show, this is the one for you. And Wild Woman and the Blues is one of my most anticipated books of 2021, and I had started a reading vlog where this was the last book I needed to read, and yeah, that was just something I wanted to finish. I'm honestly very scared to edit that vlog now because I'm pretty sure that there will be clips of my cat in it because I filmed most of it last year. And as you may know, my cat passed away in December. So yeah, we'll see when this vlog actually happens, but it is filmed now. So those were books that had like super high priority, and all of these other books, there were some that are high priority as well. Like for example, Fragen, die mir zum Holocaust gestellt werden was one of my Christmas books that I really wanted to read, and The God of Lost Words is, I want to read this so badly, but I want to reread the first 2 books and then finish it off. So the kind of rereads are holding me back a little bit. And then with the Little Tea book and Blackout, I still hope I will read them this year because they are quite short. And if things go according to plan, which for this year I cannot guarantee, I hope I will have a week off in summer where I try to do a 7 books in 7 days again. And these 2 books would be quite fitting for that because they're so short. So yeah, that's how my reading went in the first quarter of the year. I feel like for the second quarter I'm off to a much better start already, but we'll see about that. Yeah, my life is a bit of a struggle right now, to be honest, so I'm not surprised that this didn't go so well. But yeah, I hope you liked this little update on my winter TBR. As I said, check out my spring TBR, which I will wrap up in July. So yeah, that will be fun, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!